welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I want to welcome you. This is the Dr. Shabai Show, and on this show, we talk about feminism, how feminism has destroyed society, as well as relationship, families, and homes. But today, I want to talk about a video from Tyler Perry. And it is clear that Tyler Perry is just not informed. And there's a false narrative that he is putting out there about Black men. And I just want to clear up this false narrative. And then also, I want to address some of the things that he said about, women, Black women, especially getting married to men. And I just don't agree with what he's saying because I'm going to tell you why this doesn't make any sense. And we're going to come back again. Like I said, we're going to come back and talk about the video. So before we get started, please like this video, subscribe to my channel. Let's get started.
in the in our society right now, black women are making a lot more money for the most part than black men, right? There are a lot of black men who are successful, but for the most part, black women are making the money. So if you can find love, if that man works, at whatever job and is a good man and is good to you and honors the house and honors his wife and does what he can because his gift may not be your gift.
Exactly.
That is okay. That's not somebody who's beneath you.
Yeah.
That's somebody who came to love you at your worth, right?
Yes.
And as long as he's secure in himself to know that, yep, she makes most of the money, all I can pay is the light bill. As long as she's comfortable enough to say, I'm going to cover the mortgage and all the other stuff, you've handled the light bill, baby, you can take me to dinner every now and then. That is fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one of the things that's kind of irritating to me is that there's this narrative that Black men are bums and that, Black women are just outpacing them when it comes to salary. Now, again, this is from Black demographics and it tells you that African American males make their average is 46,065, and I think it's gone up a little bit, and female African American females is 41,719. That's the first thing I want to address. Yeah, I do understand that this is based on who actually reported their information, but even so, because they're talking about how many Black men are unemployed, I get that, but even if they don't report, it still shows that men have a higher income. And then the other thing is, we can't go by your circle of friends, the people that you hang out with. And like, I'm sure he's talking about people in his network. That's not the norm. He is a multi, millionaire, billionaire, whatever. So he has different types of people in his network. And if I even looking at myself, I even know that I know people that make over 100 and even dated people that made over 100, but that's not the norm. It's a very small percentage of people, not just African Americans, but anyone that makes over 100,000. So that something that we have to keep in mind. When we talk about averages, we all know what that means. We're talking about the average. And then for him to say a good man, he's this, he does this, he's wonderful, and if all he can do is pay the electric bill, and you do the research, the electric bill here in America, the average is 117. Depending on where you live, it can go up to 162 for if you live in Hawaii. We can't have a real discussion about making a contribution just to the electricity bill. That doesn't make any sense to me. And if I were a Black man, I would be insulted, because yes, we all have different talents. I heard him say that, and everybody contributes something different in a relationship. However, but if we're talking about money and you only contributing one bill, that doesn't make sense. And that to me is delusional. I know when I was married, I married my husband. He made less than I did, and that wasn't a problem, but we still paid half. If he had to get extra income doing other side gigs, he did. But he still, made sure that the family was good, the household was good. So I don't agree with that. That's very delusional. And then the other side of it, we have women who are extra delusional on this side as well, where they feel like they don't want to contribute anything. They say, I even hear it where women say, oh, when I get married, my money is my money, his money is my money. That doesn't apply either. So we have to talk about realistic, expectation in marriages. And also, the thing that I feel that's missing is people in relationships and then they get married. That's where the delusion also comes in. And I want to show you something that I saw from another content creator. Now, I don't agree with everything that this content creator says because I just don't. But he did, his name is Greg Adam, and he had something called the marriage wheel. And I think that in order to have discussions, we have to be honest. People are getting married, but the problem is they're not staying married. And there is a reason for that. And I want to go over the marriage will with you. And again, I did modify and change some of the things you put in there because I don't, like I said, I don't agree with everything. But that is a discussion that we should be having. Okay, so again, this is the marriage will from Coach Greg Adam. Again, I do want to put this disclaimer out there. This is not all women, but this is a lot of modern women where we see it happening over and over and over. And this is the discussion that we need to have about marriage and why people get married and it's not working out. And so, again, I don't believe in everything that Mr. Adams says, but this thing to me is evident of what's going on in society. Okay? So, the phase 1 is the connection phase where you're engaged, you're planning the wedding, and typically this is like within the first one 1 year to 6 months. And they always tell you not to get engaged during the honeymoon phase because you are so happy and in love that you don't see any of the red flags. But that's just the first phase. And the second phase is where you really get into the nitty gritty of the relationship. This is when the man is putting in the investment. Like, he's buying the house, or they're buying a house together, or and they're having kids. They're taking family trips together, school activities because the kids are getting older. So, a lot of money goes into that. Medical costs, even if you have health insurance, you still have to pay an out of pocket cost. And here, the personality of the modern woman starts to change here because she's doing exactly what she's been told that she ought to be doing, getting married, having a family. But now she feels like, I am not exactly sure if this is what I want. But they're still going to stay in the investment phase because the more money that the man pours in during this phase, the more that she can get later during the divorce proceedings. So, like if you have more children, if you have a bigger house, that will increase the financial outcome for the woman. Now, after the investment phase, we go into the bait and switch phase. And this is when the woman says, you know what, I want to explore my independence. Even though she says she wanted to be married and have kids, this is when the feeling of not being satisfied as being a mother and a wife anymore. She wants to explore going out with her friends more. She wants to go on girls' trip. Now since they have a huge investment, the man typically works a lot more hours at the job. So he doesn't really pay attention to what's going on at home because he's just trying to make sure that the family is financially secure and they're happy. Phase 4 is the total disengagement, where this is where you're going to talk to divorce attorneys, child support, alimony. The man will typically lose access to their children. They lose half of their assets. And I put the police there because there are some modern women who know how to use the system. And what I mean by that is if you know that you are on the brink of getting a divorce, Some women will get restraining orders just to make things turn out more in their favor. Now, and again, I don't, it's not all women, but the way that the restraining orders and protection orders are set up, no matter who files it, even if you don't have any evidence, a woman is going to be granted a protection order. A woman or a man, it doesn't matter. If anyone goes to file and get one, it will be granted because they would rather make sure that whoever files feels like they're being protected by the law. And so in phase four, this is when a lot of men get broken. Now, I am not someone that said, oh, yeah, every single man has been destroyed by divorce and every single woman is just a monster. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that the courts tend to lean towards the woman, no matter what the situation is. And they treat fathers and men like they're second class citizens when it comes to them raising their children. And what I want to stress is that when a woman sees how the court system's going to play out, a lot of women feel like, and they see it, that when they get a divorce, the man is worth more when they divorce him, meaning that when they divorce their husband, they will get the money, alimony, child support, whatever, and can do whatever the heck they want to with that money because it's their money and it is supposed to take care of the kids. They don't have to do an accounting report for each and every place that dollar went that they received. But the problem is staying married. That's where a lot of men feel like they're never going to ever do this again. And they may have just married the wrong person, but there are too many women who use the court system against the father of their child. So that's the video I wanted to talk about. And I know it seems like a far stretch from what Tyra Perry is saying, but I think that's a discussion that needs to happen because, like I said, women have always voiced their opinion about relationships on any platform, any magazine. Men have never really, especially black men, have never really had somewhere to voice their opinion, maybe at the barbershop, but this is the first time where things are on the mainstream and other men say, oh my God, that has happened to me. Yeah, this happened to me. So that's the discussion we should be having. And as a woman who wants to help, I'm trying to bring it to other women to, let's talk about it. So that's my video. I would love to hear what you think. Please, please leave a comment. Until next time, I will see you later. Dr. Shabbat. Bye.